Now, the Church of England has voted to recognise and bless same-sex marriages and unions. It's an historic move that follows several days of divisive debate in the Synod, the Church's elected governing body. But many remain angry that it hasn't gone far enough, with a ban on equal marriage within the Church itself remaining in place. Let's discuss this further with Jayne Ozanne, an evangelical Anglican and LGBT plus campaigner. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, Jayne. So, I guess the big question is this actually progress?
Well, it's a very, very small step in the right direction. And for many clergy in our churches, our gay clergy, it is a major step, actually, because we are hopefully going to remove the constraints that we've put on them about having to be single or having to be celibate. You know, the key question that we still haven't answered after hours of debate, years of discussion, is whether LGBT people can actually have sex and be allowed to be blessed in that. And it's teachings that continue. Our doctrine still tells us that a sexual relationship between two people of the same sex is something that the church will not bless, will not say is good and proper. And it's that discrimination and that message that causes such harm to young LGBT people and old, but particularly young. And that's why I'm really frustrated with what's been happening over the last few days, because I still don't think we've understood the harm that we do.
And I can understand that position, because my first question was going to be, is this progress, or does it remind us of how dated the views of the Church of England are? And just hearing you go through that, it's very hard not to make that conclusion.
Well, absolutely. And I think you and I won't be alone. You know, we know from research, in fact, the Times, I think it was, that did some YouGov research early in the week, showing that 46% of Anglicans want same-sex marriage in their churches. Only 36%, but still, you know, still a group, don't want it. And what we should be moving to is what we call a plurality of views, of allowing this to be a matter of conscience, where we recognise that different people interpret the scriptures in a different way, and allow that, you know, broad tent, which is typically what Anglicanism is. It's what we agreed at the Lambeth Conference in the summer. We had all the global primates together, agreeing that it was possible to hold different views with all theological integrity. But instead, here in the Church of England, the Church's Parliament is being held to ransom by a small group of Conservatives who refuse to allow us to move forward. And I just think that's ungodly, it's unchristian, it's out of step with, with where the nation is. And most importantly, it does cause, I keep coming back to this point, it causes really psychological harm to young people thinking that who they are is sinful. And it's about time we were honest about that.
I guess one of the pushbacks would be that the Church of England also represents Anglican Christianity across all parts of the world, where views may, on average, be more conservative, the middle ground, maybe in a different place to where things are in the UK. Is that a legitimate pushback for why progress hasn't been faster, particularly if there is a plan for ongoing progress?
Well, no, I don't buy that, because actually the people who are the worst off globally are the LGBT community in places in Ghana and Uganda and Nigeria, where they are in fear of their lives. And as Christians, I believe that we should be prioritising their needs and recognising the real serious abuse that they face, often in fear, as I say, of their lives. But here in England, the Church of England is the established church. It's the state church that's here to serve the people of England. And right now, it only serves those from the Lucky Gene Club who happen to be straight. And that's why Parliament and the MPs I'm working with in Parliament are really concerned, because A, they can see the damage this is causing, but B, they can see that their state church does not serve everyone. And it's about time, as I say, that we really, I think, held the bishops and the archbishops to account for their prioritization of what they call unity at all costs. And it's the LGBT community who have to pay the price for that.
And Jayne, just very quickly to round things off, today, are you a little bit more pleased or in fact just reminded of your disappointment?
Well, there are many, I need to be honest, within what we call the inclusive world who are pleased today. They see this as a step in the right direction. I abstained in the vote because personally, I do not believe we should be embedding any form of discrimination. I think that's ungodly, and especially when we know that the people with the least amount of resilience, the least power, have to carry the hardest burden. And I think that's wrong. But I do hope that we will eventually own up to the truth that we are a divided church and we need to learn to make room for each other. But it's going to be 10 years at least before we'll see, equal marriage, if not probably much longer than that. And by that time, I wonder if there'll be a Church of England left. We know people are leaving in their droves. This is only going to make them run even faster.
Jayne Ozanne, thanks so much.